It is time for another viewer match, and what I got for you today is a Silver League Protoss versus Terran. Spotting in the bottom right corner of Belgium Vestige, we have none other than the Terran player known as Warcry. Warcry, gotta love that nickname, that sounds badass. And his opponent, spawning in the top left corner. I should really read those nicknames before starting off the cast, but regardless, his opponent is known by the nickname of Mrosidin. Mrosidin, is that really the nickname that I'm gonna go with? Anyway, apparently, he is going to be the Protoss player in the top left corner. Maybe I'm way mispronouncing this. Mrosidin. Mrosidin? I think I'm just gonna go with Mro. Mro. Sort of like bro. Bro. Alright. Anyway, he's opening up with the famous gas pool, or I don't know exactly what the option is right here. Regardless, apparently he's gonna be opening up reasonably tech heavy. Of course, one of the things that I did notice from casting a lot of viewer games so far is that a lot of Protoss players enjoy their cannon rushes. Now, Mrosidin has indeed moved across the map. He's building up a pylon after his gas already went down. Now he's adding on a forge here as well, so I guess he is planning to do some sort of cannon rush, although he's also following this up with a gateway, but he's not quite building the pylon inside of the main of his opponent, and instead is literally building it right outside of it. Regardless, Warcry also going for that really famous gas first kind of build, a little more common for Terran players, I suppose, if they want to go for some really quick tech, or maybe a super quick factory to start boosting out those Hellions. Regardless though, seems like that's not going to be the case, but the pylon has finished up, a second gateway is now also being added on, and the forge is now finished too. So let's have a quick look. What are you gonna do, Mrosidin? Are you gonna like contain your opponent with cannons? Mrosidin, you gotta do something, dude. You're already, yeah, there we go. He is indeed doing exactly that. He's building up a cannon here at the bottom of the ramp. Now, if there's one thing that I learned, besides that Protoss players in lower leagues absolutely adore the cannon rush, is that they don't just put down a single cannon. They don't put down two either. Make me proud, Mrosidin. I know that a lot of Protoss players in the lower leagues, even though like these two cannons will probably yet the two cannons will already achieve the job just fine. I mean, they will do exactly what they are meant to do and sort of like contain the Terran player, I suppose. You know, if you can add on 3 or 4 or 5 of them, or maybe even 8, they will do the job way better than just 2 of them, right? Anyway, we'll see exactly what the follow-up is going to be. Warcry so far, and apparently actually Mrosidin is not quite done just yet. He's gonna build up another pylon right now in the main of his opponent, but Warcry apparently is going up right now to some Marines and some Marauders right here as well, and he's adding on that factory. Now, of course, the container in the main, right? If you can put a siege tank right over here, it's gonna hit all of this. It's gonna hit all of this. So we'll see if Mrosidin adds on more Dude, it's only 3 cannons. You need at least like 8. You should really consider adding on at least like a few more cannons here, Mrosidin. Come on, dude. That's like 1 Marauder and 2 Marines, dude. You need at least more cannons. Make me proud. Anyway, yeah. Every single time. I swear, this happens every single time. Alright, for any Protoss players, right? Pro tip of the day. If you think that 2 cannons will do the job just fine, you probably only needed 1. Okay? If you think you need 6 cannons to do the job, you definitely are not playing. Doesn't matter. I'm okay with this. This is exactly what we want. We get sort of like a Crescent Moon right there. Look at that beautiful shape on the minimap. Or maybe a smiley face of like, you know, one of those Cyclops with only a single eye. Regardless, we do see the follow-up right now here as well from the Terran player rather, and he's indeed building up the factory here with that tech lab. So very shortly, he's going to be capable of putting up a siege tank right around over here, and it's going to be able to hit all of the stuff. Meanwhile, on the Protoss end of the world, we do indeed see additional gateways being added on. We now also see that warp gate research being researched, I suppose, and he's going to be able to go up to a Twilight Council here too, so that's quite nice. Ooh, I saw that robotics facility on the production tab, but I wasn't sure where he was building it. Are you gonna build a warp prism and like elevate the probe out of that? Because I'm pretty sure this is a full wall off right here. Please build a warp prism and elevate that probe out of it. I mean, that would be the most hilarious execution. There is now a siege tank ready to go, however. So if you can put that right over there, that's going to be able to hit all of this. And I'm afraid that probe will have to pay for it with its life. Instead, before dying, though, and before getting out of there, you know, that's really his own option. Or his 2 options, I suppose. He either dies or he gets on out of there. But regardless, he's putting up a second pylon here as well. Please build a... Oh, no, he's going to put it over there? I mean, that's just barely in vision range, but you don't have any vision. You need a unit right over there. Warcry, put the unit right over there, my man. You're gonna be able to hit 1 or 2 of them over here, maybe 3 as well. Regardless, he is producing a warp prism. No way! He's rallying the warp prism right on top of the probe as well. Of course, build more. Roast it in. I mean, your cannons are on the threat, dude. Got a better, you know, you better add on some more here as well. Regardless, ooh, he's gonna try and sneak out of there. I was gonna say, are you really gonna build a warp prism and pick up that single probe just to sort of like save that one? I don't know. Anyway, Warcry apparently adding on a second siege tank now too. There is in the meantime, by the way, also a Dark Shrine here on the production tab. So he's going to be capable of warping in DTs very shortly. Siege tank still dealing damage. I don't really like this positioning all too much. I mean, if you just put the siege tank right over there, they're going to be in a perfect position to hit literally all of it. I'm pretty sure if you put one right over there, it's going to be able to hit the pylon in the back. No, not over there, dude. Not over there. Now, Warp Prism will be able to scout out what's going on there. He will see that there are a bunch of cannons, or a bunch of siege tanks, rather. And I guess that the cannons have done their job, in the sense that they have indeed contained the Terran player for the time being. Alright, he's finally gonna move it over. No, dude, you just... Oh, man. Alright, it's okay. It's okay. Look, it's Silver League. Don't worry about it. He is also now following this up, by the way, with a Observer. So he's gonna be able to do some work with that. Dark Shrine has finished up. There's a Mothership Core here for defenses. 4th Gateway being added on. 5th Gateway being added on. One hero pylon here in the middle, powering everything. Like, literally everything is being powered by one pylon here in the middle of the map, or the middle of the main base, I suppose. But he's gonna be capable of warping in some Dark Templar. One already is done. Is there any defense here whatsoever? We do indeed see that engineering bay researching +1 attack, so he's gonna be capable of also building a missile turret. Not entirely sure if he's gonna do so here just yet. Regardless though, the supply count isn't lying here, right? I mean, Warcry right now is more than doubling his opponent's supply. And finally, he has figured out the golden location for the siege tank. Indeed, this one siege tank will be able to shut down this aggression altogether. And, I mean, really, the pylons and the cannons haven't really achieved a whole lot. Other than, like, spending about a good probably about a good 1,000 to 1,500 resources or so right there. Sort of trying to contain the Terran player, I suppose. Now, there is indeed an Observer. The Observer will be able to figure out exactly what's going on. First two medevacs are now also being built, but really there's no detection available whatsoever. So I would really like to see, you know, some additional DTs being added on here, and maybe a warp in into the main base or something. That would be really helpful. Mothership Core is now also moving across the map. There's still a hero pylon here. I guess he can float and overcharge that single pylon. Although there are quite a few siege tanks out now, and actually... missile turrets are being added on. There's 4 of them coming in right now. 5 of them coming... 6 of them coming in. Sort of the same mentality, I suppose, as we saw earlier with the cannons. I guess the static defense better comes out in massive numbers. And indeed, the pylon does end up falling there. Mothership Core was over there in time, but it didn't pick up any kills. I don't think it managed to photon overcharge that single pylon there either. And Rosedin has now figured out exactly what the strategy is going to be. Besides being defensive, I suppose, with the DTs, or actually maybe looking to move across the map. He put 2 pylons, or wait, hold up. He actually put 2 probes into that Warp Prism now too. Is he really planning to drop those all into the main base? You can't fly into that Warp Prism though, dude. Although there may be a bit of a weak spot right there. You can't fly into that. Okay, no, he sees it. He sees the missile turrets right there. Anyway, did I say Warp Prism? Regardless, you can't fly the Warp Prism into the missile turrets. But regardless, he did put up 2 probes into the main of the Terran player. Terran player has not quite realized this just yet. DTs are immediately gonna go after the missile turrets. Now, luckily for the Terran player, there is a ring of them. So he's not going to be capable of doing a whole lot. And he's actually building a pylon. You do realize you can warp in with the Warp Prism, right? I saw you do that earlier. I saw you do that. Are you really going to cannon rush this end of the map? That would be the best thing. Please build cannons into the main base, Mercedin. I mean, I don't see why you would otherwise do this. You got to... No, okay, he's going to activate the warp in mode here as well. DTs are still doing some work here too. More DTs are being warped in now. Please build cannons. Mercedin. Dude, you could cannon rush him at the 9-minute mark. You should really consider doing that. Siege tank's actually still out in the open. Natural has now finished up here for Rosedin. He's not quite adding on any production just yet. He is unloading a single probe here, and that probe is now also being selected. And he's actually doing it. No way. He's actually doing it. What is this? Is he once again gonna build like a Crescent Moon worth of pylons? Or cannons rather? That is exactly what's going on here. He's building up a nice little half circle worth of cannons, and apparently... the Crescent Moon rush, I don't know how we could call this, but apparently the cannon rush into Dark Templar is actually working out quite nicely. Now, there are indeed a lot of cannons. Their range isn't incredible. The probes are still in here, right? The probes are not quite gonna be all that much, or well, actually, if you could drop one probe on one of these siege tanks, they would actually do a lot of friendly fire. But regardless, the DTs could do a lot of work. Marines and Marauders trying to engage against a bunch of these cannons, and cannons are very powerful as well. Rosidin trying to warp in right here next to the siege tanks, and actually, this would be a pretty good time for it as well, because the siege tank just unsieged. No way, there's DTs. He's literally warping those in. Now, they're of course not on the attack move, so that does mean that this will do quite a bit of damage, and there's actually very, very little to detect right now, other than, I guess, the 4 missile turrets in the main base. All of these siege tanks, though, taking so much damage, and while they're doing some work, the last of it also ends up falling. Apparently, DTs just barely being detected, but with all of these SCVs going down, even though Warcry was so far ahead in supply counts, and even though he still is, he's taking so much damage. There's no way. There is no way. The Crescent Moon strategy, it's working. And apparently, Brosidin picks up the victory. I don't even know how that just ended up happening. I mean, wait, let me try and recap. He contained the opponent by building a half circle worth of cannons outside of the natural, not really achieving a whole lot because there were siege tanks ready to defend. Now, in that half circle, he also built a robotics facility to build a warp prism out of. The warp prism lifted up the probe to safety, and in the meantime, it was afterwards used to warp in Dark Templar, after which he also dropped the probe into the main base of his opponent, started off another like half circle of cannons, and warped him additional DTs that took out all of the tanks. I don't even know how that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Anyways, if you got a crazy match yourself as well that you would like me to cast, there is a email address in the description of this video. It's replays@LowkoTV. You can go ahead and submit your games right there, and basically Modlusis will go through all of them and judge which ones are the best. I hope you enjoyed watching this cast. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. And other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I will see you in the next one.